little because there were a lot of other things going on. It was either that one or very early, and I didn't want to do very early.
Abby's coming.
Good. Excellent. All right, so the dance is out May 22nd. Tickets are on sale, all that good stuff. If you haven't done the dance before, it's fun. Secondly,
I didn't dance before and I got really sick because I ate too much sugar.
I don't recommend that. I saw you eating
Well,
when
it's
I.
kind of sick. I just more.
A second, yep,
What's
right. All right. On other fronts, enrollment for next year for chemistry is open for returning students. So if you are returning, it's already open. It will open for new students. It will open for new students March 1. Okay? So if you've got friends that want to come, March 1. Everybody else, if you're already here, you get in early. Woo-hoo.
Marcho Uno.
Marcho Uno. I don't think that Marcho is correct, but Uno is.
Hey, you want to something funny?
Yeah, tell me.
I told the waiter at, there was this waiter named Louise, and we already had a very special bond because we were brother and sister because his name started with an L. Anyway, not fun. So he was talking.
Your name doesn't start with an L.
Neither.
My last name started.
Oh, we went there. Okay,
Yeah.
I was totally on your first and middle. I was doing all the above.
It was
All
a
right.
whole thing. But then we were talking about how I know very little Spanish, and he's like, "What's something you know in Spanish?" And I told him that I was more intelligent than a cat.
Oh my
I
gosh.
said something wrong, and he thought I was speaking Japanese, so then it got very awkward.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Yeah, it was.
That is funny.
It was. It was.
I know in Spanish.
Bro, let's go.
What is that?
Let's eat the birds. Jason can say the dog is on my foot in German, but that's like the only thing he can say in German. Der Hund ist auf mein Fuß. Yeah. There you go. Good times. All right. So also in preparation for the enrollment opening, I did another video like we did last year. You remember you guys last year, y'all said stuff and participated and whatever. This one was more like a slideshow with video chunks in between. It turned out cute. I like it.
It was.
Yeah.
Are we doing the pool?
Yeah, we can always plan for the pool thing. That's a couple months
I
ago.
wanted to him hey sometime. What happened last year?
What happened last year?
He fell on the way to the pool. Remember?
Yeah, we
Still
went
there.
there.
Like,
Yeah,
you took like an hour to walk.
You did.
It
You
was
took
so
forever.
Because
Yeah.
I was. You know what?
We told you didn't have to walk. Slow, bro.
No, you didn't.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Everyone, no one else walked.
You walked.
Yeah, but everyone. Oh my gosh.
You know what, Michael?
Even there was an option to not walk, correct? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And we
take
didn't
off.
take it because we knew we were gonna be fast, right?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
you guys were super slow.
Oh, we were definitely slow, but
We were slower, but they were like a mile behind us.
yeah,
I love it.
we
Anywho.
we screamed Bohemian Rhapsody on the way, like the entire DFP
Oh yeah, I
song.
heard that.
I still haven't been kicked out of this neighborhood. It's amazing. So anyway, what I did with the juniors, I'll gladly do with you all. I had a scorekeeper, and somebody kept track of how many correct answers people were getting, who was participating, who was raising their hand and answering correctly. And if you were doing those things, when you started to get more than everybody else, you got to hold the puppy. And then, but you can't hold the puppy if you're eating. So if you're eating, that's fine. We'll make your puppy turn later. That doesn't mean you shouldn't participate.
I as you shove the
Yes.
You feel bad because you were busy all making
Well, then you'll have to just.
I didn't have one.
Imagine.
I
How do you not
I
have
didn't know.
them?
I didn't know how to get to the drop off.
But I gave you a print last week. I gave them out.
She wasn't here.
Oh, you weren't here
I
last
wasn't
week.
here last week.
So then,
Where were you, by the way?
wait a minute. Where's your copy then? No, I gave them out week before last.
So it was Tuesday.
They're always on, and you can always just text me and say, "What's the Dropbox link?" and I'll send it. I can send the Dropbox link from my phone anywhere. Like I don't have to be sitting at my computer. It's easy to do.
Oh, my mom's
Yeah, we
boyfriend
text
had like a meeting he had to go to. That's what it was.
All right.
The best buds.
You what?
We were best friends.
Oh yeah, we
There.
text.
Who? Oh, you two.
We're like this.
Yeah, we're right
Thank
there.
you. All right. So, what do you call those transverse waves that have changing electric and magnetic fields?
Electromagnetic waves.
Hands up, Lily.
electromagnetic.
There we
I
go.
thought that's stupid.
All right. So there we go. So that's hands up. So then what do you call the energy that's transferred by those waves? Hi.
Electric field.
Nope.
Oh, wait, I knew that.
Michael was the next
That's
one.
so dumb. I'm
What
so
is this
stupid.
question?
I said, what do you call the energy transferred by those waves?
Wait,
Wait,
Ah, Dylan.
electromagnetic radiation.
That's 1 point for Dylan. Who's scorekeeping?
I can.
All right, Ivy's got it.
Remember, I have
All right. So
Ivy, give me 5.
somebody explain to me.
Everyone else just sleeping on the floor.
So what we have is we have an electric field which exerts an electric force on charged particles within a region of space, and a magnetic field which exerts a magnetic force within a region of space, right? All right, and electromagnetic waves are produced when an electric charge vibrates or accelerates. So what about a vacuum? How about a vacuum? What happens in a vacuum with electromagnetic waves? Cole?
They travel through it or empty space.
They can. How does that differ from what we talked about last week? What kind of waves were we discussing last week? What kind? Yeah, they were mechanical, and they were longitudinal, right? Because we're talking about mechanical. What kind of waves? We didn't get you to the
What do you
lab.
mean?
Sound waves.
I'm
So Michael, sound waves in a vacuum.
Kind of.
Michael starts messaging me about sound waves in a vacuum.
Kind of. The link you sent was talking about electromagnetic waves. The link from NASA had nothing to do
I was
with it.
out and running. I'm like, I'm gonna send him something.
Yeah, the link
Shut
had
him
nothing
up.
to do with what we were
So
saying.
sound doesn't travel in a vacuum because what does sound need to travel?
Medium.
Thank you, a medium. Very good.
What if it's hard or easy? Not medium.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Oh.
That
It
is
can
not
travel
funny.
through hard.
That wasn't
Wow.
funny.
I don't know about easy. All right, somebody explain to me Mickelson's experiment. Who wants to explain that one? All right, Michael, you go.
So he
Go ahead.
really
Yeah.
he had a light source like a laser
Mm-hmm.
that shot onto an octagonal
Octagonal, that's a fun one. Uh-huh.
octagonal,
Mhm.
and it hit a mirror that was on a mountain far away,
Mhm.
and it came back and hit the octagonal mirror and hit the telescope, which he was using to record it. So he
Mhm.
set a timer for when he turned on the light source to when it appeared on the telescope.
Right. What was the mirror that was reflecting, the first mirror that was reflecting to the second,
Octagonal
and what was it doing?
rotated.
It was rotating. So he has a rotating mirror and a stationary mirror. Who would like to diagram it?
I did
No.
that.
Okay.
I did.
Cole, you can go.
How do I?
You want to diagram it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So point for Michael
I'll
and a
try.
point for Cole. All right, here, come pick your marker.
Imagine how many ants you could kill with this thing.
What?
True, you could just burn them up.
That's
Pick your
so sad.
poison.
Thinking big picture.
Do you need your paper to look at, or are you good?
I think
All right.
it's pretty simple.
I don't want to draw this. So
Yeah, you know, just like normal every
There's
day.
a mountain
I'm
here.
drawing,
there's another mountain here.
Okay.
Actually, the ledge needs to get. These are really bad mountains right now.
Cool.
Those are like the worst mountains I've ever seen.
I know.
What is this?
Can't draw a mountain.
This is an art.
Oh, rocks just started in this spring.
Okay, yeah.
His little squirrels too. It's a very
Those are not-
unhappy
Those
mountain.
are not
Happy
happy
little
little
mountains.
mountains.
Those are sad mountains.
That's a terrible 5 too. I'm sorry.
It looks like a
I can't
weird
draw
6.
today.
You can't perform under pressure.
No, you can't. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Alrighty.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't mean that in a bad way.
You're the only
Yeah,
one.
Yeah, you did.
I literally
Yeah,
did.
you did.
I literally Danny believed me.
I believe you.
I don't believe.
She did.
Just kidding.
All right. So what's he got?
We were
This is like your.
That's less of a reason
This
to
is like your
believe.
Octagonal.
Octagonal mirror.
Yeah.
And it's rotating. I'm gonna try and make that look like it.
Okay, good. Just like that. This way, like a wheel. Yep.
I also
And over
touched it.
here,
Why I'm Allison.
you have a stationary mirror, and then this is, you know, I imagine this is 3D, but like over here is a.
It's like a drum.
This is,
Flat sides,
that's
right?
where the telescope is. You kind of have to imagine that that's.
Okay.
that, like,
You could draw the other thing.
and then right over here, which is next to this, there's the light source. So I'm just gonna draw
Okay.
this. I don't really know what that's supposed to be.
Cole,
Hey Cole.
can you open this door?
Thank you.
Just the light meets this, it spins, goes across to this one, back.
Right. Here, draw that path in a different color here.
What path?
Path of the light. Okay, here's the path of the light.
There. Some light bounce. It's gonna go.
And back. And it gets recorded. All right, excellent. So,
Erase it.
let's leave. That's fine. You can leave. So what's the purpose of this? What did he do?
And
He's
then
trying to find a substance called
What was?
because he knew how fast
He was
the
What did he determine?
time of light.
Speed of light.
Speed of
Time
light.
of light.
Right.
Time of light. Said time of light. You said time. You said time. You said time.
I really wish that
Why is
If it
everybody
was-
I think
yelling?
Nate Foster's here.
The speed of the
My
rotating,
gosh.
the speed of the rotating mirror, and then the distance between the two mountains was 35 times long.
Right,
And he was
okay.
able to use those numbers to get
So he was
an
able to
estimation of
determine
the time of light.
the speed of light.
The
Right?
time
An
of light.
estimation. All right, now, what is the speed of light in a vacuum? Hi.
I don't know, 3.00x
Times. Yeah, that's
10 to
time.
8
10 to the 8
/8
meters per second. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
3 times 10 to the 8 meters per second. All right, that's your speed of light in a vacuum. Yep, Kai gets a
Are
point.
you keeping
He's very
track?
excited.
Because Cole got a point for that.
I did. See how good my mountains are?
You don't need to hold your dog, but okay, your mountains are awesome.
Those look like trees.
Okay, electromagnetic waves are going to vary in wavelength and frequency, right? All right, now, when we're talking about electromagnetic radiation, specifically light, it can behave in two different ways. What two ways?
What? I'm particles.
Yes, Henry?
Sometimes like a wave and sometimes lime a particle.
Yeah, that should be like, good catch. So sometimes like a wave and sometimes like a particle. Okay, whose experiment proved the wave bit? Lily?
Young.
Young. All right, and can you describe that? How did it work?
So he shone a beam of light through first like one slit and then
Mm-hmm.
two, wasn't it?
Yeah,
And
one
so-
slit and then a double slit. Yep. Okay, and then what happened?
And there were some points that were light and some points that were dark.
Mm-hmm.
And so these spots he said proved that light behaves like a wave.
Yes. So has anybody seen what that actually looks like?
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like your book had a
Yeah.
picture. Stop doing that. Yeah. So if you've ever seen it, it looks like so.
This one.
Here's a good example. Okay, here's a good example. Yep, she's got one there. So Sydney's got a picture. I was looking to see if I can find a different one. Here's a different one.
Hi, Miss Jackie.
Hi, Miss Jackie.
Hello, Miss
Hi, Miss
Jackie.
Jackie.
Yo, Jackie.
Hola.
Okay. So through one, through two,
I'm taking German.
these two, and you can see how it gets dimmer, brighter bands in the middle, right? So this is proof of what? What was it proof of?
That they can act like waves.
Yep. What's another way to prove that light acts like waves? What did we just do?
The
Polaroid.
Polarizing. Yeah. Okay, good. So polarization, the fact that you can polarize light and block it like we did in lab, proves that it can travel as a wave. All right. Now, the other way it travels is how?
as a particle.
All right, Michael, as a particle. Anybody want to explain how we know that, Michael?
So it was well, the photoelectric effect was very not understood because blue light when shined on reflective or shiny objects, electrons bounced off.
Mm-hmm.
But red light has a lower frequency than blue.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't have enough energy to make electrons,
Right.
so it showed that it was made of or could act like particles because it had particles bounce off.
Right, good. Okay, so you got electrons that are emitted from certain metals, right, caused by light striking it, and not all wavelengths are going to cause that effect. So we know, though, that if it's particles are shooting off, that it must be composed of particles. So the juniors book had a really good example for polarization. So if you visualize a fence, everybody visualize a fence with vertical slats and posts, right? Like a picket fence. If you had a rope, you could go in between the slats and make a wave that goes this way, correct? And it would go right in between them.
Yeah.
Could you do it this way? No. So that would be a polarizing filter that allows this orientation through. All right, now if you had a split rail like mine where it's horizontal, you could do this, right, with your rope, but you could not do this. So that would be a polarizing filter that goes the opposite way. So we had a filter allowing this one through and a filter allowing this one through. And when they were aligned, you could see, and then when it got to this point, it blocked pretty much most of it, or most of it, in our lab, which was pretty cool. I thought it was neat.
I think it's pretty cool.
I thought it was cool.
It's cool.
So
Probably not cool.
that's how we know that it's both a wave and a particle. And that's important to remember because when you get into different levels of physics, sometimes you're going to be focusing on it solely as particle behavior, and other times it's solely as wave behavior. So what do you call the little packets of electromagnetic energy, Dylan? A photon. Okay. Y'all been to the laser tag at Stars and Stripes?
Yes.
Yeah. So that was like a brand new thing when I was a kid. The whole laser tag phenomenon came out when I was in probably junior high, I think. And our laser tag place was called Photon, which is how I learned what a photon was, because I'm like, what the heck does that mean? But it was cool. It was a fun place. I liked it. It was giant. It was way, way bigger than that place over here. It was
Stars and
huge.
Stripes.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it was huge.
I've been-
Like,
I've been-
it had multiple levels.
Yeah.
It had like, it looked,
I've been
you were
to
supposed to have been
those.
dropped on an alien planet. That was the whole concept. So it looked like a planet.
Place
Lucky
Lucky
you had
the
the last
last
time I
event
played
is like
laser
that.
Yeah, maybe that one was bigger, yeah. All right, so how are we doing, Ivy? Who's got what right now?
Okay, Dylan has 2, Lily has 2, Cole has 1, Michael has 5, and Kai has 1, and Henry.
When did I get 5?
Are you still eating?
Yeah.
You answered
Okay.
like 5 questions.
So everybody is tied except Michael, pretty much.
Yeah.
God, Michael.
Sorry, bro.
All right, so we'll come back to you for dog time, Michael. All right, so talk to me. Somebody talk to me about infrared radiation. Who discovered it? What is it? What do we use it for?
Oh,
Ethan.
William Herschel discovered it.
William Herschel. All right.
What else you discovered?
Oh wait, Cole had something else. Yeah, real quick. Add to it.
You discovered Uranus.
Okay, there you go.
Oh.
He remembers that from last year. All right, what else were you going to tell me, Ethan, about infrared?
I'm trying to
Is
figure
it
out
William?
where it is.
William.
Infrared was.
Hang on, wait. Ethan's talking. Go ahead.
Infrared rays were used as a source of heat to discover all areas of heat difference. So it was basically used to find out where other places were hotter and colder.
Excellent. Ethan got a point there, right? Okay, so infrared, what does it mean literally? Like if you broke the word apart, what does it mean?
Infra.
What's it mean, Henry?
Red. It's
What's
red.
infra?
Infra.
No,
What
infra
are you-
means
I'm gonna
what?
do minus a
What are
point
you
for
even
that.
saying, bro?
Is it like image or like
Wait.
And
Nerd.
what was it?
nerd? Nerd.
Guys, back
Nerd.
on topic. Stop.
It's
Hey,
water.
Michael, I love how you're saying he's a nerd when you literally text Miss Danny and asked her.
Nope, not farther.
It's closer to red.
So,
Water.
You was wrong and I was right.
Okay, first,
You know how
First of all-
pretentious you sound?
first of all, I respect Miss Danny a lot, and
I
I
do
would
too.
never call her wrong, so don't
There.
call her wrong. either.
Ooh, you.
all right.
She's getting
That's where you're wrong.
Oh my
Me.
If you respect someone, you know
Below.
they won't be offended when you say they're
No.
wrong.
No, he's got a point.
Ultra.
No,
Uh,
Cole, stop it. Just be nice to Miss
You can
Danny.
contradict somebody you respect.
Okay.
I know, but Michael's being rude about her.
Hold on, listen.
I know. And I
What color goes with infra? Infra
Red.
what? Infrared.
It's
So what does that mean?
Like infra.
So what would it mean?
Infra.
Below the red, because red is the beginning. of
Below
visible
red.
light. Red is the beginning of visible light.
Good. So what other color? Yes.
Ultraviolet.
Yes.
Hey,
Give Lily a point.
Ivy, give Lily a man.
Ultraviolet. All right. We have
Is it really
red,
infrared?
orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Correct?
Yes.
And what do we call this?
What would you do?
Something.
Infrared.
What do we call all those?
Visible light.
Visible light. Give Dylan another point.
I said that.
Visible light.
Danny,
Yeah.
Isn't it infrared?
No.
No, it's
It's
not.
infrared.
We've covered
I've always
infidel.
heard
Who's
infrared.
got the most right now?
Still Michael.
Still Michael. Who's
I
next?
I just finished eating that.
Dylan and
Oh,
RN.
Michael just finished eating.
What?
Then? Okay. All right.
My dog. My dog.
So if we're talking about wavelength and frequency, I'm gonna put
Abuse Dr. Lilla present 5 answers.
wavelength there. What's that thing called? Do you remember what that thing is called?
Wavelength.
Yeah, this thing that looks like an upside down Y. What was it
Alpha.
called?
Alpha.
Nope.
Wavelength.
Beta.
It's wavelength.
No.
It's
Late.
wavelength.
Lambda.
Oh,
Lambda.
Lambda.
Remember, I made a whole
Wait.
joke about it.
Stop eating my
Hey,
paper.
Don't be
Dog.
so,
dog.
and then if wavelength's up here, what's gonna be here?
Wavelength.
Frequency.
Very
Beta.
good. Give Lily another point.
What
Ooh, you're almost up.
So what are we gonna find right here?
Wavelength.
Amplitude.
Infrared.
Infrared. Give Dylan another point. And then everybody, what are we gonna find right here?
Ultraviolet.
Okay.
Should I give
That's
Aaron
not-
that point or?
Give Aaron
have
that
the dog.
point.
I want to give it.
All right.
It's not true.
Wait a minute. What are we gonna find
Just give Aaron.
here?
Ultra.
What else is gonna be up
Ultraviolet.
here? Anybody know?
Non-
Oh, the Twilight Zone.
Microwave.
Microwave.
Isn't that radio waves?
Microwave.
Michael.
TV.
Radio.
Like TV waves.
TV. No. What's a TV wave? TV wave.
And then,
Gamer.
Go.
hold up, where's the
Yeah,
other one?
microwave.
I'm leaving one out.
Gamma over.
So, in a minute now, what else are we gonna find up there at the tippy top?
Radar.
No, we got all those. What are we gonna find at the bottom? That's what I meant.
X-rays.
Yeah, where are they gonna go? X-rays are gonna go here,
Gamma.
and then what's gonna go here?
Gamma.
Gamma. All right, now, hold on. What do these 3 things have in common when it comes to their effects on humans?
They're
They're all
bad for you.
toxic.
Yeah, they
Toxic.
can be bad. They can both get
Toxic.
in large amounts.
Toxic
Right?
gamer.
What does UV cause in large amounts?
Cancer.
Cancer.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay.
That's
What
cool.
does
That's not Gucci.
what does X-ray cause in large amounts?
Sleeping.
Cancer.
Cancer.
Okay.
Oh.
What gamma? What do we use gamma
Kills
for?
cancer.
Kills cancer because what's it doing?
It also turns you into the whole.
It's causing cells in general to grow differently. So if you're targeting at cancer, you're killing cancer, but at the rest of your body, what's it
Cancer
gonna
with
cause?
cancer.
Bleeding.
Cancer.
Cancer. We're fighting
Cancer.
That's why you only hit one of them.
Wait,
Cancer.
You only hit one cell at a time.
is the answer to everything.
Okay.
Everything causes cancer in California.
Are these harmful to you?
No.
But hey,
We're
you
next.
can't stick your head in the microwave.
What?
and-
Well, yeah. Do you know why?
No.
Because microwaves
It'll
are
make your head
dangerous.
explode.
Are there microwaves in this room right now?
No.
Tons. Tons all over you, all over me.
Bro.
There's small waves.
We're the
What's
long-
the
there's like a
microwave?
up there.
So the microwave oven, if you listen, the microwave oven switches polarity, right? North, south, causing all of the water molecules in whatever you are microwaving to shift,
which
causing
creates heat,
friction,
which
causing
causes
heat.
Causing
These
your
are
head
not
to
gonna
explode.
hurt you. What do we know about the frequency of these?
It's pretty low.
It's a low
Low.
frequency.
Low.
Which ones are gonna hurt
Large
you?
The high.
High frequency. Yes, Henry.
So I was just thinking,
Yes.
if like ultraviolet, gamma, like,
Yeah.
are kind of like bad.
Mhm.
So that like one like radio waves like be really good for you, like they like
No.
cure your-
It doesn't work that way. All right, so We've done the photoelectric. Okay, Herschel. We did Herschel. So what do we call this whole thing? When we write it out like this, Cole?
The electromagnetic spectrum.
Electromagnetic spectrum. That's correct. Okay, ladies. So that's your electromagnetic spectrum. Radio, infrared, visible light. I don't know why I can't type with crap.
Ultraviolet.
Ultraviolet. Yeah, because my computer is like, what are you saying? That's not a word, and it should be a word. All right, so your radio waves are used in radio and television technology, as well as microwave ovens and radar. Okay, so amplitude modulation. How do we usually refer to that term? You've heard it before in reference to a radio.
AM, FM.
There you go, AM, FM.
Yeah.
Amplitude modulation would be your AM. Frequency modulation would be your
Wait,
FM.
actually has things that makes
AM and FM, right? All right, so when you're tuning your radio, you're actually adjusting for either trying to pick up a particular frequency or a particular modulation, depending on whether it's AM or FM. So we also have radio waves in television, microwaves, and radar. What's radar stand for? Does anybody remember?
Radio. Something.
Yeah, radio something.
radio transmission.
It's something. So radar is radio detection and ranging. It's actually not a word. It's a acronym. Went right there. All right. Infrared rays. They're the ones you feel, and you don't always feel them. Have you ever?
They're the ones that give you a tan.
No, that's the UV.
Oh, I'm stupid.
Well, you can feel it. So you have a remote control that you can use from another room. You ever have those? You're in another room and you can use the remote control. What kind of remote control is that?
And like the wireless.
IR, yeah, the infrared ones, right? Right. So infrared is the source of heat. There's infrared coming off these, you can feel it. You ever seen the ovens the glowy ones?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean stoves, the glowy stoves. Those are infrared.
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 It was infrared.
It is infrared. That's what I said.
Infrared.
Infra.
I'm hearing infrared.
You're saying the same
I
thing.
think you're deaf.
Infrared.
Okay, listen, it's infra, not infra. Not infra.
Infrared. Oh my
Why
gosh.
is this like the
R.
same?
What is happening?
I actually had a neighbor once that had an infrared grill.
What are you?
That was cool.
It is actually really
It was really cool. Yep. And then they have the little heat guns too. Now, what do you call the picture created by an infrared camera, Cole? A thermogram. All right.
Said that.
Now, I just want to hold the dog. Y'all are so funny. So, you want to get water.
Yes.
I will show you here because I put this picture in the juniors notes. You know what an infrared thermogram looks like? So here's an example of a thermogram. Okay, ta-da. Here we have a what? Obvious. What is that?
Elephant.
An elephant. An elephant. Okay. What do we notice? Looking at the color. Shh. Stop. I don't want to yell over y'all. He's just playing with the tire. All right. Looking at the color of the elephant, what part of the elephant is coolest? It's ears. All right. Do we know why?
Because they use their ears for pulling too.
How do they do that?
They're not really.
Wait a minute. Lily's talking.
It's because they're not mainly on the main system. I mean, they are, but
Yeah.
they're just more out there.
So
They
what?
also
Yeah.
use them for cooling.
So how does flapping help them cool? What are they doing? What's in the ears?
They're
Big.
You ever looked at their ears up
No.
close? They're full. They're highly vascularized. Okay, their ears are full of blood vessels, and they hold their ears out here, and waft them around because they're decreasing the temperature of the blood in those blood vessels. They're attempting to cool their whole body off. That's why they're doing that. They're not just blowing air over themselves. They're actually cooling their entire system that way. What dinosaur do you suppose is suspected to have used a similar mechanism?
The ones.
T-Rex.
I'm counting on you.
I'm thinking.
I'm counting on you.
Thinking.
Think of a dinosaur that had a similar structure.
Wait,
Do you know?
the one that was like this, the short
Not the
Yeah,
Triceratops.
No.
Bronchi
You know? No.
We have
Okay.
dinosaurs.
Wait.
What?
Are they the one that killed the guy in Jurassic Park? The one that go.
Nah. What's a stegosaurus look like?
Oh, those.
What's a
I was thinking
stegosaurus
ears.
look like?
They had a bunch of plates on their backs, which had a bunch of blood, which would
Yes,
push them off and
yes.
it would absorb
So they
it.
have plates that run all the way down their back.
It's
And
one of the most points.
they suspect that, paleontologists suspect that Stegosaurus used its plates very similar to the way elephants use their ears.
I was thinking of a dinosaur that had really big ears, so I had a lot of.
Kind of like that.
I had like a T-Rex with the elephant ears.
And if you
in
look,
my
they
mouth.
have, some have like 2 rows, right? So there's a channel in between. So wind would go right through it.
Yeah.
It's actually very genius. the
They
design.
also, I think they also had like 3 brains. They had, like,
Whoa.
Oh, I
Who
can,
knows?
I can diagram the gamma ray.
yeah. they
Where
had,
else do we,
like,
hang on,
like-
where else do we use where do we use thermograms? Where might you see a thermogram on the 5 o'clock news? Think about that. Weather, that's one way. Okay,
Don't
very
believe-
good. What's another way?
Don't police use them for things?
What are they using for?
Manhunts and stuff.
Yeah, you ever seen
Like
the
during the
videos?
Boston bomber.
It's
they
the
found the
best.
guy in
They
the
did
boat.
find the Boston bomber using a thermogram
No,
inside that boat.
They watched him for it. They didn't find him that way.
No, but they found him inside the boat. You ever seen that video of him
He
inside
was
the
inside of
boat?
a boat that was
Under the
like
cover?
sitting in someone's backyard with a cover on
I
it.
was rooting for
Okay, that's terrible.
You are wrong.
What the heck?
You are very wrong.
That's a bad word, Henry.
Anyway,
It's
are
really
doing
cool though,
manipulative.
because when he got out, I think he got shot or something, so he was bleeding.
Yeah, he
but when
was.
He got out. There was like a trail.
you
of
could
where
see
blood
the
was.
blood because it was still hot. Yeah. My favorite ones are the ones where you've got the helicopter and it's dark, right?
Yeah.
And you got the helicopter
Like
above,
it's-
and you see this little glowing white figure running, hopping a fence,
And you see a dog.
and then you see the dog coming in. Those are the best. So
Like some cows like cackling.
yeah, so we use thermograms for all kinds of stuff, and those are just some ways we use them. It's really fun if you ever go to one of the museums where they'll take pictures of you, thermogram pictures of you. Those are really cool. Yeah.
The one
Those are really
So-
expletive and cool.
That's what we use radio
it.
and microwave and infrared for. So visible light, obviously, to see, to keep you safe, to communicate. So UV light does have applications in both medicine and agriculture. Can you think of probably the most common, best known UV application in medicine? Do you know what it might be?
Isn't it? I was gonna say 10, but you said medicine.
Yeah, medicine.
The application.
You know? Application use. All right, anybody, do you know?
Sterilization of bottles.
And do that sometimes, yeah. Okay, anybody ever heard of jaundice? Do you know what jaundice is?
No.
I call
Okay.
my science, or not my science,
So-
teacher, I call my small group leader John just because his name is John.
Don't
John.
John, this is
No,
right.
that's not. Why would you call it?
So jaundice has to do with a product of your liver called bilirubin. It's yellow. It's yellow pigmented. And it gets in your blood system, especially babies tend to get it.
Yeah.
It gets in it. You can also get it if you have liver failure, like hepatitis, things like that, that'll cause liver failure. But anyway, the bilirubin gets into your system. If you get too much, it can make you terribly sick. But what breaks down bilirubin in your system is UV light. So very often you'll see tiny, tiny newborn babies in an incubator under a big bright UV light. And that's because they're trying to break down the bilirubin. I had to do that. Well, neither of the boys had to go in you didn't have to go in the bed, but I had to take you out in just your diaper in the stroller and leave you in the sunshine for a little bit to just get the light on you to make you better because you were
Wait,
yellow.
You tanned me in the yard.
No, but you look like a banana baby. You were yellow. So
Big ears.
just for a little
yellow.
bit.
Very yellow.
All right, so how about X-rays? X-rays are used in all kinds of stuff, right? We use them for industry. Yeah, we use them for X-rays. So when we're talking about X-rays, what do they not pass through? Bones. What else? Metal. Yeah. Bones and metal, things like that. All right, so I have an X-ray that I was going to show you. This one's cool.
Is that my foot?
No, it's not your foot. I don't have, that wasn't an X-ray.
it's
That,
MRI.
yeah, MRI, I mean, sorry, yeah.
I wanna
So-
be close, but-
All right, so this is an interesting X-ray.
Oh, no.
All right, so listen. So about 2 years ago, Drew was jumping on the trampoline and he attempted a front tuck and somehow, I don't know what he did, but he
He
ended up,
over-rotated and he threw his knee into his
Yeah.
his
He threw his knee into his
teeth.
teeth, okay? And he knocked his front teeth really loose. It was really bad. So they were permanent teeth. So the first thing we did is, went to the dentist. He put a little splint on him, like a little wire, and cemented it, try and hold him in place. And he ended up checking him a couple times and then saying, we need to go to an endodontist. So this is the first x-ray. Okay, the endodontist took this x-ray, and these are his front teeth. Now, if you look, what's interesting about these is two things. First, right through here at the bottom, in the bottom corner, right through here, there's a dark line. Do you see the dark line that goes through the teeth like this? Right here. You see that? Right there. So that's a fracture in the teeth where they broke but didn't break off. Okay, but this, if you look really closely around the roots, do you see a dark line all the way around the tooth, all the way around the root? There's a dark line.
Yeah.
That's not supposed to be there. That means it's separating, which means you'll get an abscess and it'll get infected. So what do they do with teeth like that? If they don't replace the tooth, they can pull them and replace it. The other thing they can do is if the tooth is dead, because now it's technically dead, because here's how they check. This is wild. I had no idea this is how they check. They take a tiny pair of forceps and a tiny piece of cotton, and they spray it with freeze spray, like the stuff they spray warts with or whatever. It's like liquid nitrogen, okay? They touch it to your teeth, and if you feel uncomfortable, you're supposed to put your hand up. Well, if you put ice on your teeth, like it hurts. You go, okay, that's cold, right? So they check all of his teeth, and he's like, I feel it. And on those, this one and this one, he didn't even move because they're dead. Nerve's dead. He killed it. So what they do is they take that, they look at that tooth, and they're like, well, so what we have to do here is a root canal. So that means they have to take that whole long section in the middle of the tooth, drill it out, and then they pack it up and leave it. So when they're done, it looks like that, where they've drilled all the way down, way up into the root, and they've packed it with some packing material. And you see this dark space. Okay, so the filling is the white stuff that they fill all the way into the root. But do you see the little dark space before the white dot?
Yeah.
Yep. If you want to guess what they put in there? Cotton.
Oh.
Cotton.
Why?
They put cotton in, y'all. That's what they do.
There's in his teeth now.
Yep.
Like upstairs, you could look in his teeth and it'd be cotton.
And so these right here, those little the little white dots,
Michael.
the little white dots are where they drilled, and they drill in behind on the back of your tooth, and they drill all the way up, and they take these like little brushes and they break.
So
Yeah,
you couldn't feel this, right?
No, he was out. I mean,
Okay.
numbed, totally numb. He
Wait,
said it was easy.
But if his
I was
teeth-
freaking out.
If his teeth were already dead, why would they have to numb them up?
Actually, they numb them up because they're jerking around in your gums and stuff
Oh,
too.
yeah,
So
okay.
that doesn't feel good.
Was he
But-
unconscious?
Nope, he was awake. But this little filling that they put in here, the little white filling that you see, there's the two of them right here. So that is a temporary filling. It's actually soft. You have to go to your dentist, who didn't numb him, and drill it out, and then they replace it with a composite one that matches your teeth.
Did it hurt?
No. He's like, this is great, Drew. I don't even have to numb you. Drew's like, okay. That was wild. I've never seen anything like it. So that's my interesting x-ray to share. Yeah. Oh, totally. Totally. All right. Who's next in line, Ivy?
Oh, Lily and Dylan.
Oh, Lily and Dylan. All right.
And then it's Ethan.
I'll do Lily, because I'll do ladies first, and then I'll do Dylan.
What are you talking about?
Come here, Poppers. Let's go see Miss Lily for a bit. Yeah.
I'm so happy.
What kind of stuff?
Good.
Turtle?
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Oh, you want to go see Daddy for a bit?
Turtle?
Remember, Doxies have long backs, so always keep a hand on the back side. There you go. All right. So we use gamma rays for what?
Cancer treatment.
Cancer treatment. Okay,
Kills cancer.
they kill cells
I
in
can
general.
diagram that.
I can diagram that.
Yeah.
My child.
Pictures of the brain, industrial situations. Okay, so who wants a diagram? Anybody beside Cole or just Cole?
I can drive a cancer machine.
Can draw a cancer machine.
I can draw.
Cancer machine.
Mhm. Why don't you do it, Henry?
I am not very good at diagram.
Oh, goody. I'm excited.
This is
I'm
hilarious.
just gonna copy what I did.
All right, go for it.
Can I erase
Have at it.
That's like the gamma ray.
Yeah, he's cute. He knows he's cute too. All right, so tell us what you're drawing here.
Cancer.
Okay.
Wait, I'm confused.
Gamma ray.
Oh, okay. No.
I didn't know. Why is your what? Your handwriting's pretty.
What is that?
Bad.
Oh, kill.
No, Mom.
Okay.
I kill you.
Do you want to add to this with your cancer machine diagram?
I just looked up what it looks like.
Okay, why don't you come diagram that? Because
Honestly.
that's not the most helpful diagram.
B.
I didn't really like to get that. It was just.
Okay, thank you.
specifically with the machine.
I don't think I should give him a book for that.
So what'd you say?
It's just specifically what the machine looks like.
You did or did not?
No, I did. I just drew a picture of what the machine looks
Okay, well, come draw what the machine looks like.
like. It's not really a diagram. It's not really,
It has
Okay.
a sun.
it doesn't have a sun. That's supposed to be like
It's
the
a
decoration.
sun.
Oh. A little puppy in my lap.
Yeah.
Does he know he's
I
like?
kill you.
I feel like he does. I feel like he's like, yeah, I know.
Oh, he thinks he's the center of the universe, so.
Make sure that the
Hello, babies, too.
Speech only.
All right, so Cole's gonna draw us a cancer machine.
It has a sun.
I don't know what that is, but okay.
It's called like
It's not a sun.
I think a cancer machine would be one of those old cigarette dispenser machines, but maybe not.
It gives you cancer like a sun.
It is a sun.
I need to.
Cancer machine.
Yeah,
wrong
get
kind of
whatever you want through here.
Ow. Okay, that hurt.
Maybe you should.
Cancer.
Henry, I don't recommend pulling your hair out, sweetheart. That's usually not fun.
Yeah, it probably is.
Henry, your hair's never gonna grow if you pull it out.
Oh, it is.
No way, really?
Yeah.
But Michael, I am so tired of your smart aleck accent.
Cancer machine.
What are you gonna do?
He's a professional smart
What are
aleck.
you gonna do about it?
I'm going to cry.
Cole's cancer machine is a top hat. Your rabbit will come out of it at any moment.
I didn't say it was
Why are you like this? You're like a politician, bro.
He kinda
False,
does-
that's not right.
He
Go to
also
sleep
does
if you're
kind of
tired.
look like a politician.
Oh my gracious.
He looks like he's gonna grow up to have a hairline that's like on the back of his head.
Michael.
Old Titanic.
Ah, okay, is that the bed they're sliding in there? Okay, very cool.
Draw the sun, Cole.
It's not a sun.
Yeah, it is.
This is supposed to be like an X-ray picture with like I don't know.
Like with the
it's
sun,
like
right?
It's a profile.
This
view.
is a circle. So if
Danny,
you
is
look
that
at
not
this from the
sun?
side, it's like a big,
Like
big box.
It is like a
It's half a spider.
And then that's and right there you got your little
Bisected spider.
dude.
Thank you, Cole, for the excellent diagram.
And
All right.
Are they like so happy that they're getting?
Cancer.
they're killing the cancer. So
No, they're getting the cancer.
All right.
He just
So we I was gonna say that looks like an MRI, which brings me to MRI machines for a minute. Has anybody ever had an MRI? You've had an MRI.
I don't think so.
Who else has had one? You had one? What'd you have?
I don't remember. It was a long
I'm
time
not
ago.
200 pounds.
Aaron, you strike me as the kind of person that would have had an MRI. Okay, I'm just saying.
Aaron, did you have it when you broke your back?
No, I didn't write it. I just got a lot of trees from very high.
I remember
MRIs
this.
are weird.
Yeah.
So
So
The thing where you get slid in and it's like.
yes, that's it. Yeah. So it's magnetic resonance imaging. Do you know how it works? This is crazy. So it uses the magnetic field. Check this. Wait. Here's what it does. Hey, are you listening?
I'm listening.
I didn't tell you this beforehand because you've probably gotten sick. But it actually uses the magnetic field to change the orientation of all the hydrogen molecules, hydrogen atoms in your body. So all the hydrogen atoms in your body will all orient to the magnet and shift back.
Oh my god.
And that's what allows them to create the image.
I didn't feel that though. I just
No,
felt
no, you
vibrating.
don't. But isn't that weird? And there's
You know, I felt
hydrogen
every
in
single hydrogen
everything.
movie. Duh.
Isn't that strange though to think that they can? That's wild, right? All right, so if we move on to behavior of light,
Yes, sir.
Hey, Sydney, I have a question. How many pictures of a dog have you taken?
a lot.
I've taken like.
He's cute. He's cute.
He's a.
I've taken a few.
So what do we call a material that transmits
Blown
light?
away by Carrie on the
Transparent.
Transparent.
Oh,
Dylan gets a point.
Yeah.
Transparent. Give me an example, Dylan, of something that's transparent. That glass right there is
Cold skin.
transparent. So, hey, Trav. What do we call something that absorbs or reflects light?
Translucent.
Opaque.
Ah,
Give me an example of something that's opaque.
This paper.
Okay.
Wait, no, because
The paper's kind of translucent.
Secret, like quartz.
I did pencil.
Well, no, opaque would be like my phone or this wooden pencil.
I did pencil.
No light comes through it, right?
No, big pencil.
So the that was Dylan.
I thought you said translucent.
Yeah, it's okay. You're distracted by the
I
dog.
am.
So what does translucent do?
it
Something that's
allows
translucent?
some- it allows some light to come through, but not all.
Yes, it scatters what light comes through. Right. Allows some to come through. So give me an example, Ethan, of something translucent.
Stained glass.
Stained glass. Okay, yeah. Or like you said, paper, curtains if they're not blackout curtains, right? Guys, yo, stop. Quit. All right. So when light strikes a new medium, what are the three things that can happen? Okay, Dylan, give me one.
It can be reflected.
Okay, it can be reflected. What else can it be, Michael?
Refracted.
It can be.
When light hits a
Well,
new
I said when it hits a new medium.
when it hits a new medium,
Yes.
it's diffracted.
It can be reflected, absorbed, or transmitted.
Like
And transmitted, it can be refracted, polarized, scattered. Okay. So, what is the copy of an object formed by reflected or refracted light? Dylan,
Image.
that's an image.
Illusion.
All right. Illusion.
Mirage.
So then we have
Oasis.
Cole. Can you explain? Your hands up. You want to explain regular reflection?
It's when parallel light waves strike the surface that reflect back. It's just the same waves hitting
Mhm.
something that reflects and then projecting them back towards you.
Like a
You
mirror,
perceive it as a mirror.
right? Yeah. All right.
Not really.
So, what is diffuse? How do we describe that? Dylan again.
When parallel light strikes a rough or uneven surface, and it's reflected back in many directions.
Okay, good. A diffuse. Okay, anybody ever seen a hair dryer diffuser?
What?
Do you know what it does?
Diffuse hair dries.
So if you have,
This is the thing that you put on the end.
yep. So if you have naturally curly hair and you're trying to keep the curls in your hair,
Yeah, mine has
you can use a diffuser, and a diffuser takes the stream of air. The other thing you can put on it actually directs the stream, right? This thing will spread it, right? Very good posture, Sydney. So it'll spread it out. You can push your hair up, and it'll. Guys, chill. So
I like this bit.
Oh, I am so done.
I enjoy this bit.
oh my.
Ethan's next.
Why is Aaron look like
Why am
a
I
people
next?
Guess you're next, dog.
That's what I just
Bro,
did, though.
you know what would be cool?
What?
Oh, no.
If all of you duct taped your mouths closed.
Okay.
Dude, though,
That would be
Say
awesome.
anything. Not you.
All right, I'll pass to Dylan.
Okay, dude.
Hello.
Yes, you.
Maybe next time. Here.
14.
Come here, Mamors. Here, Mamors.
Wait,
Oh, one eyes. Okay.
I should have refused.
No.
We'll go see Dylan for a bit. Dylan like to snuggle too. Here we go.
Wow.
There you go. All right, so
Falls over.
what is can you give me an example of a light, something meant to diffuse light? Like what's something you might see every day that's meant to diffuse light?
Glasses, like sunglasses.
Magnifying glass.
Kind of. So you ever look, well, those kind of tend to block some light, right? Think about, okay, the can lights in the kitchen. Look at the difference between the can light and like the Edison bulb. What's the difference in the actual lens around it?
That one is pushing down, and this one is just everywhere.
Yeah, but this one's just clear glass, right? But look at that. See how they're cut and faceted?
Sure.
So it's kind of like the headlights on a car. Headlights on a car, if you ever really look at the headlight, it has all these cuts and facets in it, right?
Yeah.
And that's to diffuse the lights. It's your uneven surface. It sends it in different directions.
We're still doing a bit.
Or isn't
Just
it
to
turned
do
it
it.
in a more straight direction?
No, it's spreading it.
Oh, well, like a just more central direction.
So somebody tell me about refraction.
Sometimes it is.
You can tell me about refraction. Ethan.
Wait,
Water.
refraction?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just trying to find it real quick.
Solid.
Refraction, it can like light waves can bend or refract when passing through an angle from one
Okay.
Like just
Yeah. And did we see that today?
Yes.
What are
In
you
lab.
doing? What is in your hand?
You pretzel chips.
Dog, what are you doing there?
It's just
They're called a fidget thing.
we
for,
found it like that.
Yeah.
I know, but like,
He likes it.
Why do you have a thing of
So-
garlic
It's a
parmesan?
bit, bro. Sydney's doing it. Heather's
Wait,
doing it. It's
oh,
a bit,
wait.
bro.
I'll do it.
Oh, Aaron, you need to like do some jumping jacks or something. Oh my
Aaron,
gosh.
race it on. Race it around the house.
Aaron gets like hypoglycemia after lunch or something and crashes.
I'm
Okay.
so hungry still.
How can you be hungry?
I
You're
got
so
that.
sweet.
Aaron, I'll race it around the house.
There you go. Okay, Sydney, hold that up. Sydney's got great refraction.
I did that, bro.
Right? You did that last week. Yep. All
I
right.
did that.
So a mirage, all right, that's your false distorted image that's
Illusion.
caused by refracted light. Have you ever seen a
So like a
mirage on the
thunder?
road?
No.
No.
I've seen them. Yeah, you seen them? And in the desert, of course, people would think they were what? What did it look like?
Water.
Yeah. So it basically, if you're looking out across that surface, you can get refracted light that causes what looks like a silvery puddle. And in a desert, you think, oh my gosh, it's water. It happens sometimes on a highway. You can see it. It's really kind of cool. And then it looks like a puddle. All right, and then we've got our polarization, which we just spent lab on. And we got scattering. So we need a diagram of reflection, refraction, and polarization. So I need 4 people
I don't know how
to
to
do diagrams. And you can pick which one. Here, I'm gonna erase the cancer machine. I don't know what that is.
It gives you cancer. I think
So
my
we
diagram is
have-
better cool.
Reflection, refraction. I thought I had 4. No, I only have 3. Reflection, refraction, polarization, and then how about we add one more? Why don't we add
Mirrors.
diffusion? It's a new one. So
Didn't study it that much.
reflection, refraction, polarization. Let's see diffusion. Wow, that's a really big space. It looks like 2 words. So, I'm so short. I'm reaching out here.
Kerning. Your
What?
kerning is awesome.
What's kerning?
Bad, like, space between letters.
Oh, kerning. Yes. Okay,
Kerning.
sorry. Yeah. That's an actual word. Yes, it is. It's a thing. All right, who wants to volunteer for one of the 4?
Go to the bathroom.
I'm busy.
Michael, come do reflection. Who wants to volunteer for another one of the 4? Huh? Puppy, yeah.
At the puppy
Puppy.
Sid, come do one. You can do one.
Aaron, I'll do it with you.
All right.
Everyone do it.
Sydney's got refraction. Okay, so we need polarization and diffusion. Who wants to do it? Polarization? Come on, somebody volunteer for polarization. Come on, somebody. Nobody wants puppy points. Polarization. All right, Henry. And then I need a diffusion. Who wants to give diffusion a try, even though it wasn't one you had to do beforehand? Nobody. Ethan, you want to do it?
I'm looking to see what where diffusion is.
So all we have is when parallel light waves strike rough uneven surfaces and reflect in many different directions. You got it.
I
All right.
think I might be.
I'm
able
gonna step out of the space and make more room. I'll step this way.
Yeah, that's probably the
I know. Last night he was in my bed and I couldn't get here, and I just fell asleep with him laying on me. It's like your
I'm just
own
gonna stay
little
standing
weighted
until you're
blanket.
done.
Yo, Ethan, what's up, dog?
I feel
touching
sad
the
because
Zoom?
my first got further and he was in my room. So he tried and he won.
What's up, dog? How are you?
That so bad. And I wish I just told her it was like what she was doing.
Oh yeah, I've experienced that. That's not as pleasant as a not quite worked out dog sleeping on your chest.
Hi. I just had a great idea.
Ethan, try to cut my hair
We
out.
should duct tape a chair to the
I
ceiling
was thinking about
and then
cutting
duct tape
half an inch
someone
at a time.
into the chair.
The person's not gonna be
You
able
guys
to
actually do stuff with this or not? Like for real? What? Like duct tape people to the ceiling?
No, no one does that.
That's like a vlog. Like
I'm doing table with
Yeah, that's
like taping a person.
Exclamation mark.
And then they have like
We do lots
Aaron.
I colored.
What was that?
Fucking drawing, okay?
You like
Bro, where's
learn
your
this
picture?
So what?
process of
Where's your-
Wait,
Or you could just squeeze in beside him.
I only knocked that then.
Okay.
wait, did he just say I don't?
Henry, watch your mouth.
Henry, please stop.
What is diffusion again? Just no, I need to know the definition.
What is different?
Michael, why are you?
over there. I'm just saying like that was
What's up,
It's
Cole?
really good drawing.
Ow.
Alright, I got it. So, good.
You can do the other hand.
I want to see in my sphere.
Move, foreheads.
Jack on foreheads.
Alright, hold on, bud.
I'm good.
Holy cow.
Don't kill yourself.
Yeah, huh?
Hold your
These are pretty good. That's very nice. All of those are great.
Wait, who made what?
Perfect. Who did what? Oh, Henry,
He's trying
Ethan, Michael, and Sydney. Oh, no, was it Michael? Yeah, it was Michael. Okay, does everyone understand our diagrams? Does anybody look at one and go, what the heck is that? Or do we understand what they are? All right, Ethan, explain.
Okay, so basically that little circle thingy with all the lines through it, that's an uneven surface, and then the lines going out of it are the parallel lines, like, you know, diffusing out.
That works, sure. That works. I'll go for it. So,
Do you realize you're more vulnerable?
true or false? As white light passes through a prism, shorter wavelength refract more than longer wavelength, and the colors separate.
Yep.
I totally.
That would be true.
understand that.
Yep.
That's true.
Who drew the reflection one? That I want to know.
Michael.
I did. Okay, that looks like his art style.
It's perfect.
Beautiful.
So,
I could turn around.
what do you call the process when white light separates into all the colors? What do we call that?
Oh, that's diffraction.
Not diffraction, close.
Refraction. Refraction.
Would it be primization, scattering, or dispersion?
Dispersion.
Yeah. There you go. How about, let's see, what else could I ask you? All right. Here's a good one. When complementary colors, what are they? Any two colors of light which combine to form what?
New color.
Yeah.
That's primary.
Mhm. What are complementary colors?
Oh, colors that look good.
They combine to form white.
Oh,
White.
oh.
Mhm.
I know.
Wait, Sydney, how long has that been going
It's not in the, hang on, wait a minute here.
Been a minute or
Did I not include that?
It's been a
Oh,
whirl
he
more
do
than
be
this.
cute though.
Oh, wait a minute.
I-
Maybe.
That dog do be cute though.
What?
Hold
That
up.
dog do be
No.
cute.
Now he needs to make the like puppy point person as corrupt as possible.
So what? So when did the whole book on head thing start?
Sydney started it, and then.
I know. I think you started.
You don't
Then
have
Sydney-
it. Sydney started.
I have
Sydney, you started, right?
Sydney started. I joined in, but everyone else didn't.
I'm looking at something here. I'm wondering if I put the wrong questions on the wrong test, so.
Oh, she wants the scissors. Bro, leave the scissors alone. I'm like, Robbie, oh.
Oh, wait, those two questions are on the wrong, that question's on the wrong test. Hold up, let's use eyeballs. Is this test 21? Oh, I'm looking
Aaron,
at
you
the
look
wrong
like
test.
that. You look like
I can't see.
That could be part of the problem. I'm looking at the wrong test.
I think you should maybe go.
Yo, Aaron, how many
See,
fingers
like,
am I holding
I
up?
can see the light, but that's
How about this instead?
He looks like a watermelon.
What did Mickelson's experiment determine?
Speed of light.
Or the estimated speed of light.
What did Young's evidence support?
Young evidence supported that light
Light travels in
can be
waves.
used as waves. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Light travels in waves.
And then
Mhm.
the photoelectric effect. was-
Yeah, what do you call that? Photoelectric effect. And what is photoelectric effect? Describe it
Photoelectric
again.
effect is where
Oh my
it's
gosh,
the fact,
Henry.
it's the fact that blue light does have particles that bounce off, while red light does not have particles that bounce off.
Okay.
Or
What do you
possibly
call the
charged
color-coded pictures that infrared
Thermal
cameras
pictures.
produce? Let's see.
too slow.
We ordered the electromagnetic spectrum earlier, didn't we?
Yeah.
So you may want to know how to do that.
Okay. How do you know how to do that?
And let's see. Light waves can bend. This is true or false? You listening?
True.
Light waves can bend or refract when passing at an angle from one medium to another.
That's true.
All right.
All right.
I want you to pay very close attention to that language. Okay?
It was English.
But it may not be exactly like I wrote it.
Well, it was English.
And what do you call light waves that vibrate only in one plane?
A word.
No, our whole lab was this.
What? What was it?
Light waves that vibrate in only one plane.
Oh, polarized.
Polarized. Okay, excellent. Good. Okay, so I'll show y'all, since you have about 15 minutes, I will show you the video, class video.
I already saw
Oh
it.
wait,
It's
I
6
don't want
minutes in length.
I can't watch it.
It's cute.
Every other shot is my beautiful hair. So.
That, well, you know,
Actually,
because
pulling back
that may be because your beautiful hair is just everywhere.
Wait, can I touch your hair?
What about my hair?
We got the computer working again,
You're
right?
always wearing a hood.
Okay, before you get up and move, let me make sure this actually functions like it did last week.
Okay.
I'm not taking it out.
Oh, no.
It's
in the caption.
Who was next on the list, Ivy?
Me. I'm still on top, baby.
You.
You.
Ethan.
Important
Ethan, yeah.
Like
Ethan
you.
was next. All right. So we'll move over here in a second and you get it. Good job.
I'm sitting next to
Ethan.
you, Ethan, okay?
Huh?
Love it.
Oh, heck yeah. That was good.
I say I move couches.
I say I just take that.
Oh wait,
one out.
actually,
I want.
No.
Cole,
You have your dog always. I want.
It's actually you. You are Michael. You're the next person.
Oh. Wait a minute. What?
You two are tied.
For top?
We
Well,
are.
Cole lives here, and Michael already had him, so it's
No, I already have. No. It's you.
I have
You don't
squishy, you have squishy.
You have more time than I already have. So.
Oh, really? That's.
Oh my god, are you set okay?
I was like,
Is your head okay?
That was a loud
Oh my
call.
Is your
gosh,
little
chill
ear okay?
out.
Is your little ear
It's
okay?
a gymnast.
Your little ear.
Okay,
All
well.
I I'm sorry
Once you mess
that
it
I'm
up.
like.
Which you have.
Actually,
Yes,
I'm
I don't do that on
just
purpose.
What you got?
I got Harvard on my face like that's just one time.
Your fault.
Yeah, like this. Color hurt. I got that.
Bro, I had